Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning in to the second episode of the Inexperience Points podcast. Thanks again for coming back. You obviously were able to tolerate the first episode somehow, so it's nice to have you on board again. My name's James, and what's the name of the person I'm with?
I'm Chris.
You're Chris. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
We'll get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start by talking about the games we've been playing recently. And I think the main event we've had recently has been my birthday, actually.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm now 25 and feel quite old about it. Okay, so it was my birthday on Sunday, and on Saturday evening I had a surprise. Do tell the audience at home what happened Saturday evening.
Yeah, so James's good lady got in touch with myself and a colleague and invited us to a prize games night at James's to celebrate his birthday. She invited some of his other friends as well. So yeah, we've got a lot of gaming done, especially on the Saturday night. Yeah,
we did indeed. It was good. I was half expecting it because Kaz is quite crap at keeping surprises, but I wasn't expecting to see your face.
Well, yeah, that's not because I remember on the Friday I said, "Oh, have you got any plans?" And you went, "Oh, yeah, I think there's a secret plan going on."
Yeah,
and I didn't know how much you knew, but you obviously got an inkling that something was going on.
Yeah, but to see you and Big Johnny, that was a nice surprise. So as you say, we got a lot of gaming done. I don't know where to start, to be honest. Let's start with Nidhogg.
Nidhogg,
yeah. That was a good one. I know that by this time you were quite
inebriated.
Yeah, that's the word. Quite inebriated to some extent. I think it took you a little while to pick it up.
I'm trying to think how you described it when me and Big Johnny were playing. Was it, I've never seen this game played so badly?
Yep, actually that sums it up entirely. It was an interesting spectacle to behold because it is, at its roots, it's a very simplistic game. It's essentially one-on-one sword battles. I think it's sort of like fencing. Basically, it's you versus someone else. You have to try and stab the other person.
It's 2D. Pixelated art.
Yes.
Now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very simple.
Very, very old school looking. Yeah, so you have to kill the other person, and then that gives you the advantage, and then you have to run to the other side of the screen. You've basically got several screens to run through. Do you enjoy what happens at the end of the game?
Yeah, to win, you get eaten by a giant worm, is it? What is it? A monster worm?
It must be a worm, snake, something like that.
In front of a Colosseum crowd.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
But it does pretty much look like a giant knob with a face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... the knobs I've seen, I'm not so sure. But
well, okay, a cartoony knob. It's half knobbish.
Yeah, it is quite a knobbish monster that eats you at the end to your celebration. Or there's a lot of pride in getting eaten by that monster, and that's how you win. As you say, it's a very simple game, but very fun. But yeah, one-on-one. Whereas a lot of the other games we played were kind of more party games, weren't they? Where it was like there were 4 players. And
yeah, definitely. This was as the night was winding down, wasn't it? I think we started the night by playing Fibbage.
Yep.
I think that was the first one, wasn't it? So Fibbage is in the Jackbox Party Pack. Comes with a range of games that are fun for pretty much anyone to play. Basically, we had quite a range of people at the party. You and Big Johnny and some of my old schoolmates, and some of those... You know, they were gamers before, but they're not really into gaming anymore. And then Kaz was there, and she'd invited a couple of her friends as well who weren't gamers at all. So I thought the best way to get it started would be to fire up this, which anyone could get involved in. And it was actually really popular, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was perfect, really, for, as you say, for the mixed people. And it was really fun. It was kind of like a modern version of playing a board game or some sort of party game.
Yeah, definitely.
Like charades or something, where usually a group of people do that. We were doing that via Steam, was it? Or via...
Yeah, it's on Steam. I think it's on some other consoles as well, but I've got it on Steam. What's interesting about it, though, is how you actually interact with the game. Instead of us all having controllers, we all use smartphones. If you're not familiar with Fibbage and Jackbox and the like, you start up a game, and everyone goes on their smartphones. They go to a certain address on their web browser on their phone, enter a code, and they join in and play the game that way.
Is it up to 8 players?
It varies depending on the game you're playing in the party packs. I think some of them are 1 to 4, some of them are up to 8, and there's one that's up to 100, but we didn't really enjoy that. Lie Swatter, was it?
Yeah, I think that was the worst one.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. But Fibbage certainly had a lot of good fun with that. Do you think you would be able to explain the rules of it?
Yeah, I was trying to think back. So Fibbage, if I remember correctly, is there's something read out, a fact.
Yeah.
There's a word left blank, and you fill that in.
Basically, yeah.
So everybody sees this sentence, and there's a word left out, and then each player puts a lie in or a guess to try and trick other people. So if other people then once the times or everyone's put something in, it then goes on to the next part where you vote for what you think's true. So you want people voting for your lie.
That's right. Yes, you've got to try and put something convincing down, or you can just have a laugh like some of us did and put down like penises and
like kind of like Cards Against Humanity answers.
Yeah,
I think I referred to. I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
What, an example of a fact?
That came up, or just any.
I can't think of a specific one, but it'd be something daft that you'd never know, like the name of a US president's horse was.
Yeah.
Something that no one would ever really know. But you have to put in something that's either daft or something that's believable. And if your fake answer gets chosen by other players, you then get points. And if you manage to guess the right answer, then you get points for that as well. It's simple in that regard. Anyone can get into it within a few minutes. I think a couple of people were initially a bit puzzled, but it didn't take long before people got the hang of it.
Yeah, we got into it really quick, and I think everyone was loving it, really.
Yeah.
I seem to remember there was one, was it something about in some states it's illegal to urinate in blank? And
something like that,
yeah. So like there was like your garden was cropping up, and on your partner was cropping up or whatever, stuff like that. And I can't remember what the actual right answer was, but do they throw in the correct answer as well, don't they?
They do,
you
yeah.
Get points for if you guess the correct answer, you get points, and if people guess your answer, you get points.
That's it. That's right. Yes, yeah, so it's a really good game. Everyone really got into that, so that was a good way to start it off. And then I think we moved on to Drawful. Yeah,
which was also excellent.
Some similarities there, but it's kind of like Pictionary where you have to draw, but you have to doodle on your mobile phone, which is really less than ideal.
It was really difficult. But yeah, as you say, so you get given a collection of words or a phrase or something, and you have to draw it, and then other people have to guess what it is. And if they guess it right, then that means you've drawn it well and you get points. The main thing about that I remember, though, is whilst everyone else was getting words, I got something that made no sense. I don't know whether it was a bug.
Oh, yeah. I think they just threw that in to piss you off, to be honest.
Well, it worked.
It was just kind of like AAGJKDHL or something, wasn't it? You had to try and draw that for other people to guess what it is, because you want to be able to draw as good as possible, because you get points if people do realise what it's meant to be. So you're not trying to trick people in that way, but then the other players they're almost trying to trick other people, because you can put in answers that you hope everyone else will choose. So yeah, the two have similarities. I think out of the two, I think Fibbage is my favourite. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, Fibbage was my favourite as well.
I think it's the simplest.
Although predictive text on my phone was a nightmare for it, because it kept sticking stuff in that I then had to... So it took me twice as long, I think, as anyone else to answer.
Yeah, we did have some technical difficulties. I think some people were getting booted out now and then.
Misspellings, so it was always obvious when it was a lie if you misspell. But yeah, sorry, back to your question. Yeah, that was my favourite of the two. So yeah, thinking in terms of those party games, there was Fibbage, which was my favourite, and then what was the second one called? Drawful, which was also very good. And then the lies, what was it? Lies
Swatter.
It was kind of boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was basically just the fastest person to guess what a lie is. I guess it would be quite cool if you actually had 100 people who were all playing it at once. Quite cool that you can even do that. But other than that, it's not really as enjoyable as the other lot. So I think after those two in the Jackbox pack, we then moved on to Mount Your Friends. Yeah. Tell me, what did you think of that?
Mount Your Friends I was aware of it. I'd heard of it before. I'd never played it. I think it's fair to say that it's a homoerotic.
Oh, definitely. Game. It's very arousing.
Yeah, there's nearly naked men with thongs on, with big dongs.
Very big dongs, swinging about freely.
Yeah. So if people haven't seen this, it's kind of like cartoon style. It's one of those games where it makes controls purposefully difficult to see how far you can get.
That's an understatement. Kind of
yeah.
If you ever played Quap,
Yes, Quap was.
It's very much like that. Very much like that. So what's the objective? Do tell.
So you have to get higher in the man mountain each round. So player one, which was fortunately me because I'd never played it before, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
That was a good start.
So all I had to do, I think, was just walk to the middle and then say next person.
Well, you had to mount the goat, didn't you?
Oh, there was a goat. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so
it all starts with a goat.
Yeah, of course it did.
As any good sesh does.
Yeah, so there's a goat and a load of semi-naked men. So I somehow got my character to climb on top of the goat. It's kind of difficult to explain without.
So each button, each face button on the Xbox pad controls a limb. So you have your two arms and your two legs controlled by A, B, X and Y. You have to hold the button that corresponds with the limb you want to move and then move the analog stick. And you can move more than one limb at once. And as you attach your limb to something else, then it sticks. And so you can kind of climb up in that respect. I guess that's the best way of explaining it.
Yeah, that was well done.
So I know it's a bit of a tricky one. So you get 60 seconds each round. Each time you have to climb up higher and higher, so it gets more and more frantic because you're getting the same time limit, and the man mountain is just getting taller with each round. Yeah,
and I think that's why I was lucky in the sense that my first round, because there was a lot of us playing, I'd probably say about 6 or 8.
Yeah, something like that. That's good because it's because you could just pass the pad around because it was kind of turn-based. Anyone could join in. We could have as many players as we wanted.
Yeah, so there was quite a lot of us playing. And I was lucky enough to go first, so that meant that mine was easy. I just literally had to get on the top of the goat.
Yeah.
In what is it, 30 seconds or whatever?
It's 60 seconds, which is plenty to start with.
Yeah. And then as it goes on, it gets
harder and harder.
I think I seem to remember I did the first one and managed the second one.
Mm-hmm.
There was quite a few of us that hadn't played it before, and you could tell because we were the shit ones. And then there was like yourself and I think another one or two of your mates who had played it before, and you managed to keep going for quite a while before it got.
We did. I do like though how it's kind of really easy and really hard at the same time because the controls. It's only those few buttons you have to worry about. Everyone can kind of grasp what you're meant to do. It's just that it's actually hard, and it's so hard that it's actually funny while you're trying to do it. So anyone can at least try to play it and get what they're meant to be doing, but it just it often goes to pot. Even the more experienced of us were accidentally letting go and flying off down the pile and then running out of time.
Yeah, pretty much fucks you over straight away and fall off.
Definitely.
Because you can like press 2 limbs at one time as well, can't you? So you kind of, at some points you have to. Cause it's almost as if like your legs are holding you back. So the bottom limb, whether it's an arm or a leg, you have to move off, put it up and swing around. But figuring out exactly how to do that's a bit of a mind fuck.
And we did enjoy that. That got quite a few laughs from people who'd never seen it before.
Yeah,
that was another popular one.
It's got good comedy value, and the name is excellent as well.
It describes it quite well. To be fair,
can't beat mounting your friend.
What did we move on to after that? I can't remember now.
I can't remember the order.
We played some Mario Kart and some Smash, didn't we?
Did we play Smash?
We did. But yeah, how much had you drunk by this stage?
Oh, I don't know.
We definitely played a couple of games of Smash.
Well, we did play quite a lot. Did I win?
I think you did all right, actually.
I'm good at Smash.
Yeah, you did pretty well. We went on 8-player Smash. I don't think we had 8 actual people playing because I don't have 8 controllers, to be honest. But there was probably 5 or 6 of us and then a few AI to fill in the blanks. And yeah, it was just mental. It was on one of the simplest, flattest levels where there's hardly any room. And so it was just a complete clusterfuck. So that was good. And yeah, a bit of Mario Kart, as we said.
There's a good story from Mario Kart, isn't there, with our friend Big Johnny? Shout out to Big Johnny.
Oh, yeah. Do tell, I'd forgotten all about that. I'm glad you remembered that.
So, it was a 4-player split screen, wasn't it?
Yes.
But there was 5 players playing, in inverted commas.
Yep.
So Big Johnny spent the entire race with a controller, looking at someone's screen, thinking that
he was playing.
Although he actually wasn't playing anything. I can't remember how it got discovered that he actually...
Well... it was Kaz. He thought he was Kaz, like in the bottom left-hand corner, and he was like, "Oh, I'm doing pretty well. I'm 7th." And Kaz was like, "No, you're not. I'm 7th." And then we all kind of looked round at him, and he just had this controller that was switched off in his hands, thinking that he was playing and doing pretty well. I mean, well, 7th isn't that good, but it's kind of middle of the pack, so it's not bad for a beginner. Yeah, we couldn't believe that. That was great. That was a good moment.
I'm guessing you must have had quite a lot to drink as well.
Yeah, he must have done. Point. Definitely. You two were both on it.
Yeah.
And why not? Why not?
That was birthday celebrations and all.
Yes, it was a great party. I was also quite spoilt with presents that I received. So from you and Big Johnny, I got Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, which I was really pleased with. I've been playing that a bit. I'll talk about that later. And for other people, I got Black Flag, Assassin's Creed. I know it's a little bit old now, but I'm well out of date on the Assassin's Creed series, and I couldn't really be bothered to catch up properly, but I did like the look of number 4. So yeah, I got that, and Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the Sin, and then at work as well, I was very much spoilt. I got The Witcher 3 with absolutely wonderful box art.
We'll put that on the site, shall we?
Yes,
the picture
we'll have to.
So if you're wondering what the box art is, basically we paid for the code, online download code.
Yeah, because it is much cheaper to get a code, so it just makes sense. When on PC, this is to clarify.
Yeah, I didn't want to just stick the code in the card, so I thought it'd be nice to have something to open. So I put the code in. So I put the code in a cardboard box and drew on it my version of the front cover and the back.
Yeah,
and
pretty magnificent. It even had some box quotes from a few people in the office.
From fans of the game. So.
Yeah, that was pretty beautiful. We're definitely going to have to get pictures of that uploaded, certainly. Yeah, so I was quite spoiled. We've got plenty to be playing on. I also got Majora's Mask for 3DS, so I've got plenty of Zelda to be playing at the moment.
That one was actually properly boxed.
It was, yes. That one was a normal retail copy. Very pretty box, but probably not quite as interesting as The Witcher, admittedly.
So yeah, there was a couple of other games we played as well. Trying to think off the top of my head how many there were. And I certainly know, was it called Towerfall? We played that.
Yeah, Towerfall was a good time. Towerfall Ascension is its full name, but I think pretty much everyone just calls it Towerfall. It was your first time playing that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my first time.
Always remember the first time.
Yeah, it was memorable. I'm trying to think of it. That's a really well designed game. Again, 2D pixelated art style. Is there a maximum 4 players?
Yeah, that's right. It's up to 4 players. As far as I know, I don't think you can have more players than that.
What were we even playing it on?
Again, we were playing it on PC. Most of the stuff we were playing was on Steam, but I'd actually hooked my PC up to the normal living room telly.
And what controllers did we have, like the Xbox ones? Yeah,
we had some 360 pads and a PS4 pad as well, actually, to round out the 4. I do seem to remember, by this point you certainly were pretty inebriated. I know a couple of times you did say, this is literally the best game I've ever played. Whether you'd still have that opinion now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I was probably just...
you're in the moment.
Exaggerating for comedy value, I think.
Yeah.
My love for that game. But it was really good. It was like... Because it's one hit kill, basically, isn't it?
Yes.
And you've got arrows. You're all shooting arrows, and then there's some weird power-ups, but it's really tense and exciting because it's so easy to die, and you have to be quite skillful to avoid and kill people.
Yeah, again, it's one of those really simple but effective games, isn't it? It's another sort of indie title, kind of I guess you call it like an arena battle game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So as you say, you've got your bows and arrows and then all these different power-ups. It varies depending on which level you're on, but I know one's a bomb power-up, isn't there?
There was a drill.
Yeah, that drill through the platforms.
Yeah, so normally you'd be able to avoid arrows if there's something in the way, a wall or a floor or whatever, if you're above. But the drill can go through that, so you're never quite safe if someone's got a drill. That's
right, yeah, you've always got to watch your back. There's the weird, I don't know what it's even called, but there's one that like spawns some kind of evil viney plant.
Oh yeah,
that can kill you. There's... I think they're called laser arrows that bounce off walls. There's all sorts. So you've constantly got these different modifiers mixing it up. Yeah, as you say, it's a really tense experience. I don't think I actually played that one much myself. I was just watching everyone else playing it. It's actually really enjoyable to just watch. I think you'd set it on something like best out of 10.
It was first to a certain number of points, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I can't remember how many points you actually get.
As opposed to being the number of kills that determines how you win, it's actually last man standing.
So if you were the last one, then you got a point.
Yes, and I think it was set to something like out of 10 or something like that.
5 or 10, I can't remember.
And
10, I think, yeah.
Oh, they've found you. Oh no, wait, there's a fire truck.
So in the first game, I'm pretty sure, we all got to. It was quite exciting because it was dead close, and Big Johnny was one behind us all. And if he won that round, then it would put us all 1 point off winning.
Yeah.
And
did that actually happen?
Yeah, he pulled it off. So
it did. So it was 8-9-9-9. That was it. Yeah, 8-9-9-9. Big Johnny was the 8.
Yeah, and then he won.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, "Yes, this is awesome."
It was a really good
so
sudden
close,
death.
yeah. And I won that, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you did. I was actually really impressed with how Big Johnny did as well. He's not the biggest gamer, I think you could say. We often rib him a bit in the office because his most recent console purchase was a PS2.
Well, yeah. Oh, no, I think he's got one since. He just doesn't play it. He doesn't have a Wii.
Oh, he does have a Wii.
He just loves the PS2.
Loves his PS2.
That's all he talks about.
Yeah,
really,
he's always playing Driver 3 and San Andreas apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did really well on that. I was impressed. Yeah, and I think after Towerfall, we probably then moved on to Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
Everyone was a bit sceptical of this one. It's a weird little game that's bundled in with a lot of Wii U's. I've not actually played it much, but it's kind of a collection of mini games, and it had a really annoying intro sequence. Do you remember? You probably can't remember by this point. Yeah, you were probably pretty out of it, but I think it took me literally 10 minutes to get into the game because there was these really stupid, unskippable cutscenes in a game that's meant to be like for a party. We were sat there with all these stupid conversations with NPCs and crap. But we eventually got into the game, and the one we chose was, I can't remember the exact name, but it's basically like Luigi's Mansion, isn't it?
Yeah. It's probably based around that, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. So,
do you want to elaborate on the concept of this?
We probably should, shouldn't we? So this Luigi's Mansion style game is 5-player, which is interesting in itself. And how that works is one person uses the Wii U gamepad, and they're the ghost. And you're in a little top-down arena. It's a 3D game, but it's almost kind of 2D, like the plane of how you move around the level.
Yep.
So it's you as the ghost on the gamepad against 4 other players using, Wiimotes or whatever. And the objective for them is to find you, because you're in pitch black pretty much, aren't you? And the other players have torches.
Yep.
And so their objective is to shine their torch on you. You're pretty much invisible to them most of the game.
So it's 4 against 1 basically.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the ghost is massively overpowered.
He is. And it's a bit of a running joke really that whenever the ghost catches another player, he's basically just humping them. He just kind of launches himself onto them.
It's kind of like a perverted ghost.
Yeah.
Which I don't think was... Well, maybe it was ironically what Nintendo were aiming for.
Maybe it was
a bit like how Disney throw in a few like sexual things. Maybe that's like... But yeah, so this ghost goes around, and if you catch a player, you hump them and then they're out.
Yeah, pretty much.
And if you hump all the players to death or whatever, then the ghost wins. And usually for us, the ghost won. We've had it was
most games, unless it was someone really incompetent playing as the ghost. Usually it was the ghost that won. I don't know if you're a bit more experienced, perhaps you've got some really good teamwork going with the other players, you could maybe stand a fair chance, but a lot of the time everyone's really uncoordinated and running around like headless chickens
and just getting humped off one by one. Yeah,
exactly. Definitely safety in numbers with that game. But yeah, we were actually playing that for a surprising amount of time, weren't we? That's a really popular one, even with the non-gamers.
Yeah, well, I think everyone wanted to play as the ghost, so we were passing it around who was the ghost.
We were taking it in turns.
But yeah, I don't know if I can't remember if we clarified this, but yeah, you can kill the ghost with your torch, and so if you can trap them in a corner or in an alleyway and have people either side, and you both shine the torch on, that's how you kill the ghost.
Yeah.
But for us, that rarely happened. I think one person maybe lost as the ghost.
Yeah, it didn't happen very often. You're right.
It was still fun though.
Oh, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We're having a good laugh. Obviously, a lot of people quite drunk by this stage.
A lot of humping going on.
There was a lot of humping going on. Yeah, so all in all, it was a great little party. I've not had a house
played
party.
Divekick.
Oh, Divekick. Yeah, we'll give that a quick mention. What did you think to that?
It was good. It was a game where you dive and kick.
Yeah,
so I'm not
pretty
sure
much.
why it's called Divekick. I think
No.
they could have come up with a better name.
Yeah, it's not very relevant, is it?
No, it's just abstract. So yeah, you have 2 buttons and you have to time it well. It's kind of like Street Fighter style, isn't it? But literally massively simplified.
Massively simplified, yeah, as you say, just these 2 buttons, one for dive, one for kick, and it's all about timing, I guess, isn't it?
You get a headshot, you win. Or do you win if you get any kick? Can't remember.
Yeah, if you get any kick at all, it's one-shot kill. There's a lot of weird rules that we couldn't really make any sense of, like fraud detection, and at one point you were starting massively disadvantaged, and it was all very confusing.
A nice big fat man.
Yeah, you liked the fat man, didn't you?
Yeah,
he was good.
But I think that was the last game we played, so that was right at the end of the night, wasn't it? Because obviously me and Big Johnny stayed over where the guests didn't, so that was me, you and Big Johnny playing that late.
It was.
I think that was worth mentioning as well. If you haven't played Divekick, it's worth checking out. It's a nice little simple game.
Yes, it wouldn't be much fun on your own.
No.
But it is a good game to have a bit of a laugh at. It's not bad. Yeah, so it was a great time. I don't think I've had a house party like that for years, where you just literally sit and play games all evening. So that was really good. Took me back to my days as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. Apart from the toilet door getting open when I was trying to take a slash. But
yeah, that was a bit weird.
Nah, it was fine. It was a good laugh.
Yeah, it was good. Enjoyed that.
I don't think not much to show really.
I'm sure there is. So obviously that's made up a big proportion of what we've both been playing over the past week.
Yep.
Has there been anything else for you besides your toilet game, which we'll get onto later?
Yeah, so I'm really glad we had that evening, because normally at the weekend is when I get most of my gaming in, but that was the Saturday night, and so we did get loads of gaming done then. Apart from that, I've done a bit more of Witcher 3, not as much as I'd like to have done.
No.
I think it's worth me talking about Gwent. I didn't mention Gwent last time.
No.
Well, that's some card game that's thrown into it, and I'm not really sure why it's there. And when I first started, you're kind of thrown in. You're trying to get used to so much. Like with Witcher being new to me, it was kind of like get used to the characters, get used to the world, try and crack on what's going on, try and get used to all the other things. One of the first fucking things you come across is some guy in a pub going, "Do you want to play Gwent?" I was like, "What the fuck is Gwent? Oh, I better learn it." And I still now don't know whether there's any point doing it outside of achievements. I don't know if it translates to any sort of tangible benefits in the game. But
I've not heard much about it.
We'll be able to discuss it and see if there is any point to it. But I learned it. I was a bit crap at it, but I beat this guy in the pub.
Okay, that's a good start.
In the first village. I don't know if I've got any more cards. I didn't care. It was a relatively simple game. You put characters kind of like on this board, and it's stats based, and you can. There's special powers for some cards.
Sure.
But yeah, I was a bit kind of frustrated because I just wanted to crack on with the game, and then I was learning the rules of this mini game that I wasn't really sure the relevance of, or why it was there. But I learned it anyway because I'm a bit OCD with big kind of RPG, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing out on anything. So
definitely, yeah. You want to get your money's worth out of it, don't you?
Yeah. So I learnt the rules of Gwent, but in the first kind of prologue, that was the only guy I think you could play with. I could be wrong, but he was the only player that I found.
Sure.
But so as you remember last time, I said I completed the prologue.
You'd got through that, hadn't you?
So I've carried on from where I left off, and I'm at the start of chapter 1 or Act 1, sorry.
Okay.
And I've just filled in. Sorry, I just filled in all the details about the backstory, which I didn't know what was going on. And now, so I was at a point where I'd filled in all this backstory, and I had to go meet, I think, the Emperor.
Okay.
So I don't think this is very spoilery. I'm sure most people have passed this, but you have to go chat to Emperor or something, and you have to learn how to bow and wear appropriate attire, which the witches was like, what the fuck have I got to do this for? And then I think you can be as awkward about it as you want. I wasn't particularly awkward. I just chose some clothes and did the bow.
Fair enough, yeah.
And you chat to this guy and you get your stuff back. And then I went outside, the first fucking thing I found was some guy who wanted to play Gwent. So I tried playing him so many times. I kept losing every time. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking lose. I'll keep playing this until I win.
Yep.
But I felt massively overpowered, so I don't know what I missed out on in the previous, area where there was loads of cards we were supposed to have. But basically, without going too much into the rules of the game, he had cards that were like pretty much twice as powerful as mine, and they were also immune to. There's some special cards you can play which negates like the power of other cards. So, but he seems to have some that were twice as powerful as mine and immune to that. So I couldn't really do anything about it, and so I kept reloading and just kept losing. So I don't know what I've missed in terms of Gwent, or I don't know whether the thing was I don't know what's going on with the world, so I didn't know if I've moved on, if I'd ever be able to come back and play this guy again. I assume I will.
Good point. Yeah,
so it might just be that he's good, and I should go out and get some more cards from merchants or whatever, and then come back and play him. But I kept playing him, thinking I'd get lucky on one, and he just kept battering me. So that's where I'm up to with Witcher, just getting battered in Gwent. Have you played it yet?
I haven't yet. No, it's ready. I'm looking forward to trying it. What I have played, as I say, is A Link Between Worlds. That's something I've been playing quite often on the train to and from work. Been enjoying that so far.
It's about 40 minutes, isn't it, for you, for work? Or
yeah, well, a bit less than that. Probably about half an hour, I'd say.
So you get an hour a day, basically, game time.
Yeah, which isn't bad. So yeah, I've been playing A Link Between Worlds on the train. It's kind of like, it's meant to be a properly kind of remade version of
Link to the Past?
A Link to the Past, that's the one. Yeah, which I never actually played. I've heard how it's meant to be really good, one of the best old Zeldas and all that kind of thing. But I've never played it myself. So this is kind of a new take on it. So it's top down. It is 3D this time round. One thing that struck me is that even though it feels very much true to its roots as an old Zelda game, it's also really smooth and kind of satisfying to control. Like, I can imagine the older games would have been a bit clunky. But this, it's surprisingly fast. Like, Link can run around and swing his sword really quickly.
Yep.
And it stops it feeling a bit kind of outdated and past it. One of the main mechanics, which I've not fully explored yet, I've only just really got it. I've just completed the first dungeon. There was a pretty good boss battle there. It was quite short and sweet, but
you can usually rely on Zeldas for good boss battles, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
One of those games where, I don't know about you, but I find sometimes some games are let down by their boss battles, where some are pretty much all about the boss battles. And, off the top of my head, I think Metal Gear Solid franchise has always been, the highlights always been the bosses.
Yeah, that's always known for it, isn't it?
I thought the Mass Effect bosses, generally like Mass Effect 2, they're quite unremarkable.
Yeah, quite ordinary. I see what you mean. But this was quite good.
But sorry, going back on point, Zelda you can usually rely on for bosses as a highlight.
You can, definitely. Yeah, this was good. It was fighting against, it was almost kind of a minion of Ganondorf, I'm guessing. He looked a lot like Ganondorf, which is a bit suspicious. I don't know if he's meant to be a relative or if he is him secretly or something. I'm not sure exactly what's going on yet.
What's his name? Do you remember?
Yuga? Something like that. You get a bow and arrow and you've got to keep trying to shoot him, but he's using the main power, kind of the main hook of the game is being able to go 2D, like as a painting, and merge into the walls.
Yeah, I've seen that, and you can go around corners and you can almost travel across when there's like no platform there, you can walk across the wall.
Something like that, yeah. So he was doing that, which makes it a bit tricky, but it wasn't too tough of a boss battle. I breezed through it quite easily, and then I was just awarded the power myself, and I've not had much chance to try it out. But so far, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing of A Link Between Worlds. I'm looking forward to getting more into it now. I've unlocked kind of the main point of the game.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I'll back for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you, I've not played too much else, but I did have a quick go on Planetside 2. I know I was telling you about this at one point.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about this.
I got the impression you weren't too keen on the sound of it.
Isn't it an MMO FPS?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really do online gaming. And I don't really do FPSs that often.
Really? It's not an ideal combination for you, is it?
No. I like to play alone most of the time. Or with people I know. Like not so much.
Okay.
No, I don't think I'd be playing that. But
no,
go
that's
on,
fair enough.
Tell us about it.
So it came out on PC years ago now, actually, and I played it briefly on PC, but then I just stopped. Other games came along as you know it happened.
Your attention, yeah.
For ages now, they've been meaning to bring it to PS4, so it's free to play. As you say, it's basically an MMO FPS. It's kind of like Battlefield. It reminds me a lot of Battlefield. I do like the Battlefield series, but it's sci-fi. whereas most Battlefields are kind of more, obviously, true to life, more modern day. It's set in this kind of huge world map, all different bases scattered around. And the main draw of the game is that essentially there are thousands of people playing at once, and you can get into some absolutely enormous battles. So
yeah, to be fair, that does sound fun.
It is
something of that scope.
It is
be enjoyable to be part of.
I mean, the shooting mechanics are fine. They're not amazing, not as tight as something like Call of Duty, but they're certainly quite good. I think the main draw is just the sheer epic size of some of the battles. Like, there can literally be hundreds of people all fighting for control of one base, which is really cool. You don't see that in many other games.
No, and in fairness to him, I guess when designing it, isn't that quite a risk, because you're always needing that number of people. So if people don't like it and stop playing it and numbers dwindle, the game's pretty much fucked.
Yeah, that's always a problem with MMOs, and it would definitely be a problem with this. If there weren't enough people to sustain big battles, then it wouldn't be worth it at all. No. So I only got a chance to play it briefly, but I'm liking it so far. It seems like the port over to PS4 has been good, even though they've definitely taken their time about it. So I think I'm going to put some more time into that. I quite like, even though mouse and keyboard is good for shooters, I quite like being able to sit on the sofa sometimes and play it with a controller. It's a bit more laid back.
Yeah, I've always preferred that. It's more leisurely.
It is for
me.
Okay. So I think now we'll move on to our special feature, the Toilet Game of the Week.
Toilet Game of the Week, yes.
I know we were both quite excited about this one, our first one. So if you want to tell us more.
Yeah, so I know we spoke about it briefly on the last podcast, but you sent over to me Drift Girls.
Yes.
Which, I can't remember if there's a strap line, but it's basically pick up women by being a good drifter.
Yeah, I suppose.
By drifter, I mean drift racer.
Yes.
Is that what they are? So, where to start with this game? So I'll start with the art style. So you've got, we discussed this last time, didn't we? You've got the kind of anime manga style women.
Yeah.
The classic kind of that style. I guess it originated in Japan, didn't it?
Oh, definitely, yes.
So they've got the big eyes and the big boobs and the ridiculous kind of
really unrealistic people. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is cartoony. But the style of the rest of the game, outside of these characters that crop up and talk to you, is kind of more of a, well, I wouldn't say realistic, but more like arcadey style racer.
Yeah.
And graphically it's fine, but I found from the off that was a bit of an odd mismatch. I would have thought they'd do a cartoony style.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But yeah, so yeah, the aim of this game is to... And I do think this game will offend a lot of people.
Oh, very
in
probably.
In the sense that it very much objectifies women. In the absolute use of the term, in the sense that women are almost there like as achievements to collect. So you win these races to impress women, and then you get the number, and then you go on dates. But they give you like stat boosts as well. So it's that again that's more objectifying, because you're there almost using women to. They give you money as well, like every day. Every day you log in,
the women give you money.
Yeah, which I found bizarre.
Weird.
It makes you feel like you're a prostitute or something, which is another bizarre twist. So every woman you unlock, and again this made me laugh. You unlock them by winning races, and you can impress them. But certain races like have a girl's face, so you click on it, and then at the start of the race it says a new woman appeared or a new girl appeared.
Okay,
and it reminded me of Pokemon. Like, a new wild Pokemon has appeared. I was just like, oh god, this is awful. So yeah, so they the more you unlock every day, they give you cash or coins, which then there's so much to talk about that. I'm kind of covering too many things at once, but. And this is the other thing in terms of objectifying it. The game kind of encourages your character to be like unfaithful as well, because you get rewarded for getting more women.
Right.
So there's no reward for like sticking with one woman.
No, as many as possible.
Yeah. So the more you get, like the kind of more rewards you get, and so the gameplay itself is kind of split into several parts. The first one is the actual racing itself, which is very simple and it's fine.
Okay.
It's always one-on-one. There's you and another car. And you've got your accelerometer, or whatever it's called. So you've got your revs.
Sure.
and you've got to make sure you press in on the accelerator enough. There's kind of like the green part where it's optimum, and anything outside of that is not ideal. So you have to press the revs enough by tapping and releasing on the button, and then as it says, so it counts down 3, 2, 1, go, and then if it's green at that point, you get a perfect start. So,
kind of like Mario Kart sort of boost at the start.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
exactly like that. Yeah. So that's the first gameplay mechanic in the actual racing. There's no steering, so that's fine.
Okay.
So you get your start, and then you've got the drifts, and all you have to do for those, if it's left and right, there's 2 buttons, one for left, one for right, and you hold down the direction of the drift as you hit the drift, and then you let go as it leaves the drift. Mm-hmm. And depending on your timing, you get, timing it well basically means you do the race quicker.
Okay, sure.
And you get better stats at the end. And
you impress your ladies.
Oh, yeah, so if you win races, you pick up the girls, and then you can date them, and then after a certain amount of dating, and the dating is terrible. Like you select a place, and that's about it, and then you get a few like points towards your like relationship meter, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes you get generic questions that you wouldn't know the answer to, and it's just like pick one or the other, and if you're lucky, you get it right, and then the date goes a bit better, and you get more relationship points. And after you've reached after you've dated enough times, they can come in the car with you.
Oh, I see.
And they give you a stat boost by being in the car. And the more you develop your relationship, the higher your stat boost.
Yeah.
Which always made me laugh. I was kind of curious to know why your car would perform better if you had a woman sat near you. And then, but on one of the loading screens, it says, if a lady sat in the car with you, your car will perform better as if it's trying to impress her.
That's kind of an explanation, I guess.
Which I thought was bizarre. Surely they say the driver was trying to impress her, not the car. The car itself is trying to impress them. So for whatever reason, it's just a mechanic. Yeah. So improving your relationship with women, having the women in the car improves the car. So you're encouraged to go on these dates, in inverted commas, to improve your stats, so you can therefore do more races and unlock more women. That's the crux of it, really. Yeah, racing and dating.
It does sound pretty unique.
Yeah, it's an interesting spin.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
On gaming.
So you could say you've enjoyed it to some extent.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, it's got all those things that mobile games do. Yeah, that keep you coming back. So if you win a certain amount of races and go on a certain amount of dates per day, you get some bonus coins. Yeah, and so you can upgrade the cars as well. I skipped over that, but as well as the dating to improve your ability, you can upgrade the cars as well. And you can upgrade parts that you add to the cars. So there's quite a lot going on, like stats wise. And the more you go on this, because there's a story mode, but there's also like competing against other racers in kind of like online leaderboards kind of thing. Okay. And there's that to do as well. So it has these hooks that keeps you coming back to do things every day. So and then you get things that help you out and help with progression. And it reminded me of Heroes Charge in the sense that
that's something else you've been playing recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, I played Heroes Charge before I deleted it a few months ago, and I'm quite looking forward to not playing any more of this Drift Girls because it's quite grindy. It's a point now where you have to do a lot of grinding to progress. So I have come back and I've done the stuff to get the extra things, but it's just getting boring and repetitive now. Yeah,
so it's a good time to move on to the next one,
which is
I guess relevant. Secret. Yeah, your game for this coming week is newly released Sonic Runners. Sonic Runners,
is that as in the Sonic? As in
the Sonic, the one and only.
This better be free, by the way. I don't know if we established this, but I'm not paying for these.
Okay. No, you're okay. This one's free to play as well. Don't know much about it. It's basically, it looks kind of old style Sonic platforming, but it's just kind of an endless runner.
Oh god! So it's going to do a similar thing.
It's going to do similar things. You're going to love it, mate. So we're looking forward to hearing more about that next week.
Yeah, Sonic Runners.
Okay, that should be good. So moving on to the news this week. One major one. I don't know if you've heard much about it, but we had the release of Batman Arkham Knight, which the game itself is meant to be very good, but the PC version has been an absolute disaster.
Okay.
So it's locked to 30 frames per second, which does annoy PC gamers. They do like a good solid 60 FPS. But that's not the worst thing, because for a lot of people, they've struggled to even reach 30.
How does that happen?
Basically, when it's been ported over, it's been done by a small development studio. Probably, pretty much. Yeah, no, it's...
the intern did it.
Yeah, I can imagine. That would explain it, because the amount of things I've been hearing about it sounds pretty awful. It's a Warner Brothers game, well, and Rocksteady. So Warner Brothers is the publisher, Rocksteady would be the usual developer, but it's been outsourced to another studio. And it just sounds like not enough experience, not enough people doing it, not enough time. I know that, well, basically with PC gaming, you're either AMD or Nvidia, and AMD in particular had some real issues with the game. Warner Brothers put out an announcement saying, yeah, sorry, it's running a bit shit. Just turn all the graphics settings to absolute bare minimum, which has kind of pissed people off even more.
Yeah, that's not really fair, is it? You expect a proper fix. You don't expect people to do...
The PC Master Race is very demanding.
Yeah,
they want the absolute best, and
someone should have proofed that idea before they sent that out, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it was a very popular thing to say. Now, recently, Steam introduced refunds, which is good timing, really. So I think a lot of people have been getting refunds for the game. Just buying
it on a console, probably, if they're not pissed off enough.
Yeah, that's right. If they have a console, or I guess waiting to see if it is fixed at some point. What's been quite unprecedented is that Warner Brothers have actually now stopped selling the game for the time being. Yeah, this doesn't really happen very often, so it just shows how bad it is. I think they've taken it down off all online stores. They're even getting game stores to recall copies of the PC version. Well, probably not recall them, but just keep them away from sale.
Get them in the back.
Obviously, that's the beauty with games these days, is that it can be patched up. So the games, like the game discs themselves, aren't faulty, obviously.
You've got to wonder how that went ahead.
How the game went ahead?
Yeah, was it not like for the PC version? Was it not tested?
It would have been tested. We can't really blame the testers, because no doubt they were like, "Come on, guys! Like, there's so much wrong with this, we can't release it." But some bigwig would have said, "Nope, it's got to go.
Yeah, we want the cash
out the door."
Yeah.
So that's absolutely bitten them in the arse. So that's been an interesting story. Another main one, which has been causing some ire around the internet, is around Destiny.
Ah, yes.
So neither of us are really Destiny fans. So
I'm certainly not a Destiny fan. I'm not saying I've got anything against it. I've never played it.
No,
I don't know anything about it. Really.
That's fine. I tried it briefly. Wasn't really too keen. It was okay. I just don't think it was for me. I think as far as kind of a MMO FPS, something like Planetside actually appeals to me more.
Yeah.
So the main issue with Destiny we've been having recently is a couple of kind of bad incidences of PR, a couple of things that weren't thought through very well. So the new expansion pack coming out is really dear. It's actually £40.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money for an expansion pack, to be fair.
It's fucking ridiculous. Like, you get a game cheaper than that.
Yeah, you can. And I know the last one, I can't say this from personal experience, but I know the last one wasn't actually meant to be that good. It only added a bit of content. The main thing with Destiny is that to progress, you essentially have to keep replaying the same bits of content over and over again.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I know. What I hear from Destiny players, there are people who are really into it, but it's almost like they can't help themselves. It's almost like being addicted to one of your free-to-play mobile games.
Oh, yeah, so I know that feeling.
They feel like they have to keep playing it, and they're almost not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been unpopular. There's also some kind of collector's edition coming out with, I'm guessing, with the expansion bundled in. And I know that's going to be fairly expensive, and it's actually coming with some exclusive content that you can't get, that you couldn't get any other way. So all of these loyal Destiny players have been playing for ages.
I feel hard done by, I guess.
Yeah, so that's really got people's backs up. And to address that, they said they'll sell the content separately, but I think they're probably going to sell the content for quite expensive anyway, so they're not really helping themselves.
Yeah, it didn't really help, yeah.
There's also an interesting deal with Red Bull. You can get some, I can't remember exactly what it was, but some kind of bonuses for buying Red Bull, and then you'll get codes on the cans.
Oh,
so again, it's just a cheap cash-in, isn't it?
That would piss me off so much.
Oh, definitely. So the creative director was a bit defensive in an interview with kind of one of the main gaming websites. He was a bit defensive over the pricing of all of this stuff. And he's since had to apologise because it just got people's backs up even more.
Did you hear it or read it? Or...
I didn't exactly know. I just know he was kind of comparing the price to other things, saying, it's not actually really that much money. And
what kind of things, or like pints of lager, or
I can't actually remember now. But the way it was said, he wasn't being an absolute arsehole, but it was a bit too defensive, and he, to be fair,
saying it was a justified price kind of thing.
Yes, to be fair to him, he did kind of retract it. When he said he looked at it back.
Yeah, it sounds like he didn't mean to sound bad. Yeah,
which I can understand. That's fair enough. So yeah, that's been another thing which got people pissed off recently. Something which has got people pissed off in the past, but they're now trying to make good, is that the Drive Club PS Plus version is finally, it has been released. So you've only just got your PS4, so you might not know the saga of Drive Club.
No, it'd be interesting to hear this.
Okay, so this was, I think it was announced probably with the initial announcement of the PS4, or around that kind of time. So it's a fairly realistic driving game. It's not what you'd call a simulator, but it's fairly realistic, maybe a little bit of arcadiness thrown in.
Like initially, Gran Turismo wouldn't be, although that's realistic, that wouldn't be a simulator, would it?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure, because I'm like you, I'm not the biggest driving fan. I'm not sure how you classify it, but I guess Gran Turismo would be one step.
Change the gears. Well, I guess you do have to do that in Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
I always think just literally as close to the real experiences.
Yeah, so I've always thought of Gran Turismo as fairly realistic. I think Drive Club would probably be a step down from that. A main part of the game was challenges and kind of playing online. There's like a big social aspect to it.
Yeah.
So they promised this PS Plus version. So it's like every PS4 owner will soon be able to download Drive Club for free.
Okay.
But it's not the full game, but it's, a decent chunk of it.
For free.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah, you can't complain, can you?
No, so in theory, that's great. Everyone's, pretty chuffed about this. It's a bit of a bonus for getting a PS4. But that's only just coming out now. And this was announced and meant to be coming out pretty much straight away after the PS4 came out.
Which was when? When was it?
When was it now? It would have been... I've lost track now. Was it end of 2013?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, kind of late 2013, I think the PS4 came out. So Drive Club was meant to follow it soon after. And yeah...
They've finally made good on
June
that promise.
2015, finally there.
Well, at least they've done it.
Yeah, at least they've done it. But another main issue with Drive Club is when the main release came out, so the actual game that you buy, that you pay for,
yep,
it had disastrous launch issues. They basically completely underestimated the server loads that the game would put on their infrastructure. As I say, it's a very kind of social game. There's a lot that you do with it online. I think it's probably always online, pretty much. And it was just completely crippled for months. They had to even disable parts of the game temporarily while they tried and sorted things out. And so people were pretty livid.
Yeah.
They'd be promised this great racing game that they'd be able to get for free, but now you have to pay for it. But you pay for it and it's absolutely terrible and messed up. It sounds like in the meantime, they've sorted it all out now, and it sounds like it's half decent now. So I'm quite looking forward to giving it a try. There's this free version. So yeah, I'm probably going to give that a go at some point. But one thing recently, over the last few days, you probably haven't tried to download anything, but in Europe, the PSN, like the PlayStation Network, has had issues with download speeds.
Oh, okay. I'm
not sure why it is. Sony are aware of it, apparently, and they're trying to fix it. It's a bit annoying.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'd say about that in regards to me is my bedroom doesn't have strong signals, like...
at the best of times.
Strength anyway.
Yeah.
So I know everything's slow as hell, so I don't do anything before gaming. I might put it on.
Okay.
And I'll do something else, so if anything needs updating. So I wouldn't notice anything particularly slow.
No, that's
I'd
fair
only
enough.
notice if it was like in the lounge near the router or whatever.
I think stuff like playing online is fine. I mean, I've been able to play Planetside 2 absolutely fine, not had any issues there. It's literally just with download speeds. I imagine it'll be sorted within a few days. It's just been
a
minor
if they know
annoyance.
about it, they'll look into it. And
That's right.
Hopefully.
So that's
presumably
that stopped me getting Drive Club yet. I think it's probably finished downloading by now. But
well, yeah, if it's been downloading well.
Yeah, I kind of left it on doing its thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's good to go. So I'll hopefully be able to talk about that next week. So we've had a few releases this week. A few we've already mentioned. So we've had Batman Arkham Knight and Planetside 2 and of course Drive Club. Do you want to mention some of the others that we've had and that we've got upcoming?
Sure. So we've got DMC4 Special Edition.
Yeah. So do you like the Devil May Cry games, don't you?
I do. So I love Devil May Cry 1, like most people did. I seem to remember getting that for Christmas. So it's one of the, you know how some games you play and it's got nostalgic value and it reminds you. Like so there's this whole Christmas feel to DMC.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I think I might have got it. I'm not sure if it's the same year, but I seem to remember Tony Hawk's 4 is similar in the sense that when I play it reminds me that I got it at Christmas Day.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
But sorry, I'm going off track here. So Devil May Cry 1, love. Devil May Cry 2, never owned because it got slammed. And,
yes.
My mate, one of my best mates had it, and I played it with him, and it did seem massively different.
Okay.
Really enjoyed 3.
Sure.
4, I never played. That was where there was 2 protagonists, Dante and a guy that just seemed exceptionally similar to Dante.
Really?
Is that the right one? 4?
Probably. I've never really played it myself, so Devil May Cry is a bit of a mystery to me. I've never much been into like the action genre.
I'm just trying to think, because then with the reimagining of it, that was just called DMC, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the latest game, that's DMC. So this is a remake basically of Devil May Cry 4.
Okay, cool. So I don't really know. So is it a remake or is it remastered?
Ooh, good question. I don't actually know for certain. It might just be probably pretty much just a remaster, HD, decent graphics. I don't think they'll have revamped much of the game itself.
Okay, well, whatever that is, that's coming out.
Yeah, maybe you might want to try that at some point if you fancy filling in the gaps. If you were a bit of a DMC fan, you might want to try that. What else have we got?
We've got MotoGP 15, which
great. That's shit, innit? Driving bikes.
Yeah,
who actually plays that stuff?
I'm sure some people do and they love it. But it's,
I'm sorry if you're a motorbike fan at home.
Our one listener is actually a massive MotoGP fan.
Shit.
So, sorry to him. But
that's our audience gone.
Yeah, no, that's it's one of those games. I imagine that if that's for you, then that's it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I imagine it'll be, what you're looking for, hopefully, in a motorbikey game. Anything else?
Yeah, so I've got here J-Star's Victory VS Plus. Do you know anything to talk about that?
I do, actually. Only because I got a review copy to distribute to someone for the game site that I write for. So I'd never heard of it. It's a fighting game.
Okay.
And it's got characters from different animes. So it's got what's it on?
Yeah.
I think it's on like PS4 and...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was probably initially on like PS3 and now it's been put onto PS4.
I would say that's not a great name. J-Star's Victory VS Plus.
It's very Japanese.
Yeah, I was going to...
Definitely.
So, J, is that Japanese related? J-Star's VS Plus? What's that mean?
Versus. So I think it might make more sense if I explain to you a bit about the game.
Please do. Sorry, I totally interjected. Right, go on.
I can't claim to be an expert, but just because I'd never heard of it, I looked it up.
But you have played it now?
Oh, no, I haven't played it. Sorry, it was a review copy that I've given to someone else. I didn't fancy it myself, to be honest. Okay. But it's a fighting game with characters from different anime. So there's Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, so that's your J-Stars.
That's your J-Stars, your Japanese stars. Versus each other. So I guess it all sort of makes sense, really.
Plus,
because it was on PS3 and now it's on PS4, and that's the plus because it's better.
Well, I take it back.
Yeah,
that name makes perfect sense now.
Perfect, isn't it? Yeah, it's the kind of game that has its niche. People who like those kind of games will know what it is, and they'll probably be all over that. So that's it. That's okay. Anything else?
Yeah, would you like to talk about the last one we got on the list?
Okay. Yoshi's Woolly World. That actually comes out today.
And today is
today that we're recording the podcast is the 26th, which will not be the day that you, dear listeners, are actually listening to it. But yeah, it's Friday the 26th, the release of Yoshi's Woolly World. It's a typical Nintendo game, 2D. Well, it's not 2D, it's 3D, but it's kind of old school platforming with a bit of a twist.
Got Yoshi in, I guess.
Yeah, it's got Yoshi, and he's quite woolly in his woolly world.
Is he woolly, or is it just the world that's woolly?
It's all woolly.
It's all woolly.
It's all woolly. Yes, he's woolly. It's just kind of the art style they've gone for.
What is it with woolly? Didn't they do that with Kirby Yarn? Something about
yeah, Kirby's Epic Yarn. That's a good point. Not to mention
what is it with them fucking wool.
Well, if you think to E3, there was that Unravel game. I don't know if you saw that, but that was another bloody game with a woolly protagonist made of yarn. So
was that Nintendo?
That wasn't Nintendo. That was actually Microsoft.
So it's catching on. So yarn is the new gameplay.
It must be. It must be. That's the future of gaming as we know it.
Materials.
Yarny protagonists. Definitely. So, it looks pretty decent. It's, typical Nintendo colourful platformer. I did used to be a big Yoshi fan back in the day.
I think everyone likes Yoshi. Especially from my experience with Mario Kart, he's a favourite Mario Kart character, isn't he, Yoshi?
Yeah, he's just kind of a good all-rounder, so I do enjoy him in Mario Kart. Back in the day,
similar to Toad, but less annoying.
Yes.
In regards to Mario Kart.
So, back in the day, I would have lapped this up. But nowadays, I'll probably hang back, maybe get it at a later date if it interests me. But yeah, it looks okay. So I think that's all of the releases at the moment. Oh, actually, one missing. Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. So that's the Final Fantasy MMO.
Heavensward. So that's as in you're heading towards
to heaven. Yes, which is interesting.
Where are you off to on Heavensward?
Yeah, just up to see God, just up to see the big guy.
Yeah, might make sense more to people who play it. I don't know.
Probably would. Yeah, I did play Final Fantasy XIV briefly. I think I just played a month, like the first month trial that you get, and I didn't play it after that. It was all right. I actually had it on PS4, and one thing that struck me is it was a really good game to just chill out. It worked really well with the controller. You could just sit back and play it.
Funny you should say that. I don't think of MMORPGs as something to chill out to.
Do you not? You find them quite stressful?
Well, I don't really play them, but I can't imagine gamers doing that stuff to chill out. They usually do it with a mission. I think of raids and stuff like that.
That's fair enough. That's the thing. I think MMO is different things to different people. A lot of people are quite into the PvP, doing all the raids, as you say. For me, I've never been a massive MMO fan. When I do play them, I just kind of casually play through most of the PvE content. So that's the player versus environment, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's just playing through all the standard quests and leveling up, doing a bit of grinding and all that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that floats my boat. And with Final Fantasy XIV, it was, as I say, I did find it really relaxing. In fact, no lie, a couple of times I actually did fall asleep playing it.
That's a box quote for him, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not really selling it, is it?
Well, at least you found it relaxing. I guess relaxing is not unpleasant.
No, it isn't. It was just... It never reached out and grabbed me, which is why I didn't renew it after the first month. It was just kind of pleasant, but it didn't go beyond that.
Do you happen to know if it was anything like 11? Because I did play 11.
Yeah, I played 11 as well back in the day. I think that was probably the first paid subscription MMO I played.
Me too.
I got my mum to buy it for me. I was like, oh, Mum, I just read the back of the box. You have to pay money every month. She was like, what? She did agree to for a few months. Thanks, Mum. It was an okay MMO. It seemed pretty good back then, I think. I know it did have its fans. And this is pretty similar, I think. It's got all your typical kind of MMO stuff to it with Final Fantasy injected into it. And as I say, very relaxing, but it never really stood out to me.
Did you... So, 14... Right, correct me if I'm wrong. There was one that had a massive fail at launch.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually completely forgetting about that. You're quite right. So, the initial launch of Final Fantasy XIV was terrible.
Yeah, it was really heavily... I never actually played it to speak from experience, but I just know it was slated. So you must have played it when it was...
A Realm Reborn is actually the full name.
Yeah, which, even in the title, it's kind of saying, we've corrected this.
And to be fair, as I say, it was pretty enjoyable. I imagine a lot better than it was before. So I think everyone's kind of forgotten that now. Forgotten how bad it was to start with.
Which goes to show, I guess you can turn it around.
You can turn things around. Same with Drive Club, yeah. So yeah, that's all of the releases. If we spend a couple of minutes talking about the podcast, we are cracking on with things, sort of.
Yep.
What progress have we made? You might have noticed we've had a microphone upgrade. Well, hopefully,
I hope you've noticed.
I hope you've noticed. Yeah,
especially with the budge up about 40 minutes into the last one.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't great, the last one, was it? Yeah, we did have a bit of silence, and then accidentally flicked the switch, and so... Bloody switch. So that changed the sound at one point, you might have noticed, if you actually made it all the way through.
If you did, thank you very much.
Yeah, if you did, good on you. Same again here. Thanks again for listening all the way through. So we've had a mic upgrade. We've still got lots of work to do, sorting out the website and the social media, logo, all that kind of thing. We will get to it. We will. Definitely.
Yeah, well, that's it. The priority at the moment is to make sure we keep releasing podcasts regularly.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, we're trying to fit in the kind of building the brand kind of thing.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
The websites and all that as well.
You know, we thought the mic was quite an important upgrade to improve the sound quality, so that was a good start at least. So we've not bought a pop filter yet for the mic. I'm not sure if we'll need one yet or not, so you might have heard the odd throughout the recording. We'll have to listen back and see how we get on with that, and maybe get some if need be. But
yeah, if you've had any, sorry about that.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully overall the quality is better. That's what we're hoping, at least, anyway. We've got one of those nice blue Yetis which everyone raves about, which seems pretty good. So, well, thanks again for tuning in. If you have made it to the end, you are a brilliant person and we love you.
Yes, much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Much appreciated. And we will speak with you again soon.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be releasing another in a week's time, give or take, hopefully.
Yes, ideally we want to keep up roughly a weekly schedule. So you'll be hearing from us again soon. Thank you. Goodbye.
See ya.
Okay, let's test this bad boy out. So we need to test for P's and B's. So,
but pop.
Pop.
So there's plenty of people that work here.
People
People have been pissing me off.
have they?
Yeah.
Which people have you been pissing you off in particular?
Penelope.
I wish we had someone called Penelope working here.
Penelope Pitstop. Penis.
Penis. Inexperience points. That did pop then.
Hello everyone, welcome to Inexperience Points.
Inexperience Points podcast. Yeah. So at that level. Sorry?
Is that chicken?
Chicken?
Here.
Ah.
I don't know.
Oh, might be a bit of packaging. Packaging. And bees as well. So, big boobies. Big boobies.
Boobs.
Boobs. Yeah.
Far away boobs. And this is a close boobs.
I like a bit of close boobs.
Boobs in your face.
Sorry.
Put your dick away, for fuck's sake.